I'm struggling with this video because I'm nervous of what I've embedded in this video. I've also upset a lot of people in this city, very powerful people. Hello, today is July 5th, 2020, and the time is 7:53 a.m. I'm going to be talking about three topics that are somewhat connected. And I'm going to be sharing a document that I haven't altered, meaning I haven't taken out any names. And I have concerns about doing this, but at this point, it is what it is. And I'll just say at this moment here that this particular document has been filed with criminal court and as well as the civil courts, and has been distributed to countless of people everywhere. Now, with all that said, I'm going to start by talking about why I take the stand that I do with the liberal arts theoretical pseudoscience of psychology. This goes back to the mid-2000s, where someone that I personally knew very well, I had found them in one of these alleged hospitals. And so I spent a few years, I guess you could say, reaching out to them. And I'm not trying to sound cryptic with what I'm trying to say here. I'm just trying to balance, some stuff out here. Anyway, when I first met this person, I had someone within that environment, a professional, come up to me on the side and say, what they said was that they're doing experiments on this individual. And I remember trying, like, what exactly? And they were kind of being, I don't know how to put it. They didn't want to come out and say exactly what, and I'm guessing now, because if they did, and then I said something, even without telling who said this to me, I'm sure they would be able to narrow it down. And this person told me that if I was to say anything, they would deny ever talking to me or knowing me. And not that I didn't take it seriously, but I was just kind of like, yeah, okay. And that is until the second person came along, remote from this other one, and said basically the same thing. Not basically the same thing. Now, if there's anyone kind of doubting, well, you know, these are just people's opinions, well, I will say this. At one point, the alleged doctors in this profession had talked to me about allowing them to continue to do experiments, primarily with drugs, on this individual, and I flatly refused. And I was somewhat in the prime of my law career, so I was really on the ball. Started researching what was going on, and in the end, this government hospital, alleged hospital, told me that I had to speak to their legal department because I was just asking questions, too many questions. Anyway, and I give you an example. I remember during one of these meetings, there was this nurse, and the individual was elderly person, and they would, I guess, when no one was around, pleasure themselves discreetly. And I guess one or two nurses, they would by happen chance just walk in, and wasn't out in the open, but they knew that, and for some reason that really bothered them, and they were offended despite it being under the blanket type of thing. And well, I just said, well, you're in the wrong business if you can't handle something like that. And then, obviously I asked, was anything said, done, what was directed towards that individual. Anyway, so that's what began my quest for knowledge on this whole alleged profession. And I learned a lot. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. I ended up working in the mental health industry, and I had some firsthand experiences with regards to, I guess you want to say, the shadiness of it. So, and while I was during that time that I was doing work in that industry, I had talked to people, obviously, and a lot of them were begging me to help them get out of this system. And in the end, and this is actually heard in one of the recordings that I made with the female who started my nightmare, her asking me to help these people, like her, I guess, and a few others. And you can hear me clearly stating that telling her that they have to go initiate something I can't. Anyway, that's in an audio recording. It's in one of the audio recording videos. Would have been December 2012 video. There's an extended version of that somewhere in my older videos anyway. So I've had several different perspectives on this industry, and that's why I've been advocating against it so heavily. Now, when I came across country to the province where I am now, I wasn't at this organization for 2 weeks, and I've mentioned this in other videos. The first executive director that was there, I was coming out of his office. We were just having, a casual meeting, and he told me that actually was the female that started my whole nightmare was walking by, maybe about 15 feet away, and he pointed at her with a smile, saying, you could have sex with her if you want. It just completely caught me off guard, because we were talking about something completely remote, and then she happened to walk by and that comment's made. And I remember looking at him saying, I don't want to have sex with anybody. And I was really kind of messed up, like confused, messed up, like where did this come from? But it was more of an invitation. I guess because of my career history, maybe he felt that I would be game to this. But I remember telling him, I said, I haven't been in a relationship or with a woman since 99, I guess. And anyway, and it was about a few weeks after that, the provincial healthcare people were coming around interviewing everybody individually, and I was being interviewed, and they were asking some what I thought were peculiar questions about, if I know anything that's going on or something, I don't know. But I do remember telling them, thinking to myself, I'm trying to rebuild my life here. I don't need more troubles. So I remember telling them, there's some stuff that's going on here. I don't know exactly what's going on or the extent of it, but this has to be looked into. And I remember they just kind of looked at me. It wasn't even like they were shocked or surprised or anything, and that was it. So then we end up fast forwarding to I resigned November of 2012 because of issues with the second executive director that came on. And then December, right at the beginning of December, this false accusation or whatever took place, and here I am today. Now, I did try to talk to some people about this. I shared this information at the time with a colleague, and they were like completely stunned, shocked. Now, there's something else I got to add in here. This individual, this executive director that had said this to me, has ties, very powerful ties within the city and different communities. And I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that. I did try to share with the provincial health services what I knew, but I got to back up a little bit. I ended up doing some affidavits. I did 2 affidavits telling this, and I even, after the May 4th, 2013 event, I tried to go to the city police about this, and one of the detectives was allegedly on my side investigating everything. I was expressing this, the affidavit, and what they told me was, nobody cares what you have to say. That's what they told me. Which, from my perspective, is telling me that there's something else going on here. And I don't know what more I can say. I've explained briefly why I take the stand against the liberal arts theoretical pseudoscience of psychology. And by the way, that individual that I talked about at the beginning of this video, the elderly person, died as a result of them. And I'm going to also add that during those years that I was in this person's life, real hospitals would contact me because this individual was rushed there. They had no idea what was wrong with them or anything. They would ask me, and when I would tell them what I know about, say, any medications and what they said that they wanted to do with experiments, and real doctors would be going, there's nothing on the charts about this. There was so much strangeness with that. And that's when I began looking into it. And that's why I take the stand that I do. I've shared the one element of corruption within this city with regards to this affidavit. And I've shared what happened when I try to make an attempt to expose this with authorities. Nobody cares what I have to say. I'm struggling with this video because I'm nervous of what I've embedded in this video. I've also upset a lot of people in this city, very powerful people. And there's videos a few years ago when I started to expose the political interference of the lead counsel for the city, threatening my second lawyer, and my fears were really heightened then. So doing this video, I'm struggling. It sounds like I'm kind of rambling, trying to get the words out, and this is why. Because after this video, whatever. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.